For more than 60 years, Brits have been sold the dream of a new paradise life in Australia. Every year, nearly 30,000 people emigrate to Oz, and many head for the vibrant city of Sydney, attracted to the harbour lifestyle, the sunshine, and the 70-odd beaches up and down the coast.
OK, who's first?
We'll meet Liverpool girl Lisa, who's adapted to the Aussie way.
Both my little Aussie children.
If we might just have a wander. Thank you.
We'll follow £10 Pom Yvonne, who's shopping for houses on the harbour.
It's open to offers, so it'll probably, I would say, go for around 4 million.
We'll join Welshman Leon, whose travels have landed him on top of the world.
Hot tubbing under the harbour bridge.
And we'll discover what life's really like for Poms down under. Australia was discovered nearly 250 years ago, and since then has developed into a land of opportunity for those seeking fun and adventure. Backpacker Leon arrived 12 years ago. He's now got one of the most sought-after tour guide jobs in Australia. Come rain or shine, Welshman Leon guides over 40 people a day.
There you go then. Widest long-span bridge in the world in the Guinness Book of Records. Built 80 years ago. Still biggest road deck in the world.
I work on the harbour bridge as a guide. We're called climb leaders. Basically, I show people up the bridge, I show them the view of the harbour.
The bridge was opened in 1932 and was built to connect the north and south side of the city. It was constructed from 52,000 tonnes of steel, most of which came from the northeast of England. It took 9 years to build. Over 2 million people have trekked up the bridge since it opened to tourism.
The bridge and the Opera House, that is what sort of says Australia. For Australians, it can be quite a moment for them. You know, some people wait their whole life to do it. And so I appreciate Australia for giving me that opportunity. And if I'm involved with something which is iconic to Australians, then yeah, I feel quite proud of that.
The Sydney Harbour Bridge, which Leon climbs twice a day, has one of the best views in New South Wales. But it's the old South Wales that Leon would like to see more of.
I've got friends who can afford to go home more than I can, and I sometimes get a bit jealous. I try not to, but once every 5 years is about all I can sort of do.
Since Captain Cook sailed into Botany Bay in 1770, European attitudes to the Aboriginal people of La Perouse have changed dramatically, particularly in Lisa's case.
I guess coming from Liverpool, I didn't have any attitude or behaviour towards Aboriginal people where I think some people in Australia may have.
For the past 3 years, Lisa's been responsible for promoting better health within the Aboriginal community.
Hello, how are you going? 8 days to the event, it's a week tomorrow. So just doing a last-minute letterbox drop just to remind people to come along.
It's an event for the Aboriginal women on behalf of the local health authority.
It's a good way to make sure that the message has got out. A lot of the time people talk to each other with a personal invitation. You know, they know that they're being included.
There are 46,000 Aboriginals in Australia, and the largest community live in New South Wales. But they are still poorer than the white Australian population, and their life expectancy is lower, on average, by 10 years. Large numbers are dying early from conditions such as diabetes and heart disease.
I've got to give you all a leaflet for the Women's Health event. It's next Wednesday if you want to come along to it, and there's a jewellery making workshop on in the afternoon.
And after 3 years, Lisa has built up some friendships.
Hello. Is Auntie Norma still here?
79-year-old Auntie Norma is directly related to the Aboriginals who met Captain Cook when he first landed in Australia.
We're the ones. The Bijical people when Captain Cook sailed into Botany Bay.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
There's my father on that side, see the little man?
This is your dad?
That's my dad.
What was his name?
He died in 1938.
Back then, Aboriginal life was very different. They lived on reserves and experienced racial segregation on every level. But they were allowed off the reserve, and Auntie Norma met her husband at a dance in Sydney.
How old was he there?
He was about 28.
28.
I was only 17 when I met him.
And you were together all
Oh, a
them years?
long time. The love of my life, that was. Aboriginal fighter, Australian champion, was a handsome guy.
He certainly was.
Yeah.
Things have improved for the Aboriginal community, but there's still a long way to go.
Aboriginal health isn't just about health. You've got to take into account people's living environments, people's education, people's job prospects. It's a hard one, but hopefully we'll chip away at it bit by bit.
Only 40 minutes from central Sydney are the beautiful northern beaches of Summer Bay and Palm Beach. They are one of the most exclusive areas of New South Wales and home to Australian soap Home and Away.
We get film stars and they trot along to the beach, and you often see John Cleese walking up and down Palm Beach or someone like that, and it's an attractive area to live.
Yvonne emigrated to Australia 42 years ago and has been living at Palm Beach for the last 12 years.
It was really virtually the block of land with this little old shack on it. And Rod said, "Do you think we could be interested in this?" And I said, "Position, position, position. That's what every real estate agent looks for, and this is it." So we can launch a boat off here, and there's always fish out here. We can see them jumping, and we actually get dolphins here, which is absolutely beautiful when they come. There's usually a pod of about 16 or 20, and they swim and frolic off here.
Yvonne bought the land 25 years ago for £500,000, and now their property is worth £6 million. Not bad for a £10 pom. After the Second World War, the British government encouraged people to emigrate to Australia to help populate the country. As an incentive, the fare was just £10. Yvonne married her Australian husband Rod, and not only built up a family, they also built up a successful real estate agency.
When I first arrived, I thought, oh, I'll probably go back in a few years, although I had met my husband. We weren't married then. And we did go back every couple of years because, of course, my family was there. And it was lovely to go back. But once I got on that plane coming back to Australia, I knew I was really coming home because this lifestyle is fantastic. You cannot beat it.
But now they want to give it up and move back to the city, where property prices have risen by 20% in the last 2 years.
We just think it'd be nice to have a base down on the harbour again, where we can lock it up, go overseas without having a pool to look after and knowing that there's a boat shed. We could be vulnerable and things like that.
We will miss it. Yes, we will.
Don't tell our children.
They will love it too, but
They'll be very sad if we do sell it,
but it's, one moves on. And we'll find a waterfront on Sydney Harbour, so it'll be just as good.
Okay, who's first?
Me.
Liverpudlian Lisa lives in Gymea, 25 kilometres outside Sydney.
It's going to be a real hot one today.
I know, Mum.
Lisa married Danny from Kent in 1998. They emigrated a year later, and they now have 2 children.
Well, this is Amy. Amy's 6, going on 16. And this is Jo, who is almost 9. Both my little Aussie children.
Their childhood is very different to Lisa's upbringing in Liverpool.
I grew up in a suburb of Liverpool, which was probably, 4 miles away from the city centre. I had always, I'd always been a home bird. As independent as I was, I'd never really lived far from home. Okay, caps. You got your caps?
Mine's in my bag.
Mum and Dad both worked. when I was younger. My dad actually, at one point, was working 3 jobs to buy the house that they had aspired to move into, you know. So he was a hard worker. I think it's time to go to school.
You have to carry my bag all the way, though.
OK, come on then.
We're all ready to go.
All right, let's go.
Having a family meant Lisa had to change her career.
Originally, I worked in hospital pharmacy, dispensing and as a pharmacy technician, and then I'd moved into project management for the pharmacy software.
Working with the Aboriginal community has deepened Lisa's connection to the roots of Australia.
Really? Did you think you'd be here for 12 years?
When I came out, I had no idea what Australia held for me. I would say that my job in the UK and the job that I do now are just completely different. You know, there's no comparison.
Now we are offering you the chance to spend 14 nights in fantastic Sydney. 38-year-old Leon is from Caerphilly in Wales. He left home when he was 23 and travelled the world.
Probably now 15 years or more, so I was quite relatively young when I left. And I think, to a certain extent, there was a bit of ego in wanting to just be seen as a hero, wanderer, sort of conquering the world. But I'd have to say I've probably inherited a bit of wanderlust from my dad. He was in the Navy. He travelled the world sort of many times over before he was even sort of reached 30. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind a cup of tea.
He eventually ended up in Thailand, where he met and married Tung.
Well, I was teaching in a school, Catholic school, back in Thailand, and Leon came over to teach in our school. And that's how we met. Quite a long time ago.
It's quite long, isn't it? We became friends, colleagues, friends, then, you know, partners.
Australia is 10,000 miles away from the UK. It's a long and expensive flight, which is why his mum has never visited. Until now.
My mum and my brother are coming. They've never been to Australia. I'm sort of looking forward to seeing them, but I'm looking forward to them seeing Australia as well.
Finally, after a 24-hour flight, Leon's mum and brother Donovan arrive in Sydney.
Welcome to Australia, Leon. Welcome to Australia.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
It's good not to be on a plane anymore.
I bet it is. We could go to Blue Mountains.
Yes, I'd like
While
to.
here, that'd be nice. We go snorkelling to Manly. But the Shelley Beach the water's really quite clear. And
Well, it's lovely to see Dum and Leon in their surroundings, which I've only ever had photographs of before, and to get the feel of the place that he's been in for so many years. It's been good.
Well, you mean you're the professional tour guide of the family, so I'm expecting the complete work.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
As it's their first visit, Leon is keen to show off his Australian life, which includes a tour of the bridge.
So how you feeling about doing the climb today, Mum?
I'm trying not to think about it. I mean, I'm quite nervous, really, at the whole prospect.
Well,
It just seems an awfully long way up, doesn't it?
It's the day of Lisa's health event for the Aboriginal community of La Perouse.
Right, where do you reckon we should put these?
After weeks of planning and leafleting, she's only got one worry: whether anyone will turn up.
It should be a good day. Hopefully we get a good turnout. So yes, a little bit nervous.
Australia's Indigenous population has been marginalised for the last 200 years. Lisa's had to work hard to build up their trust.
Thanks for coming along. I'd first of all like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land, the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and future. I think being a Liverpool girl has helped me, you know, as strong, determined, independent women. They breed Scousers tough. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually the Aboriginal Health Programme Officer.
Lisa has invited health experts to give advice about exercise and diet.
It's going well. People have shown up, that's the main thing.
I think this is a good idea and Lisa's doing a good job.
A lot of women won't talk about their problems, but I find when we get together like this, we can talk about anything.
Because we like to find out things, you know. It's better for it. Then we know, then we can help with our families and that, really. It's good.
This is a job that I've, you know, stumbled into, but now I've found a passion for the job and a passion for actually trying to achieve something. So hopefully in time we'll see some good results.
The housing market, like the economy in Australia, is experiencing a boom. The average price of an apartment in Sydney starts at £650,000 and houses £2 million. Yvonne is downsizing from her £6 million house on Palm Beach for a place on the harbour. But waterfront properties are at an all-time high, prices ranging from £2 million to a whopping £30 million. Even the unseasonal rain won't dampen these high prices.
And if you look up, you'll see the sort of pale greenish grey building. That was my building, and I had the whole building with my real estate practice upstairs and downstairs.
Yvonne's back in the city to check out the market herself.
But this looks gorgeous, so if we might just have a wander.
Please
Thank
do.
you.
Beautiful view. Lovely pool. It's a very nice outlook. From here you can take a water taxi across to the Opera House, which my husband and I probably would do. We go to the Opera House a lot.
This apartment may have the views, but it's only a quarter of the size of her Palm Beach house.
It's not large, but practical. I'm used to a view from my bedroom, so you just get a little snip of a view, but not as good as the one at Palm Beach. Tiny bathroom, and that would be enough wardrobe space for my husband, but not for me. So we need more wardrobe space. Bedrooms are small, but look, it's very nice. It's very pleasant. It's open to offers, so it'll probably, I would say, go for around 4 million, maybe a little bit more than that.
At the current conversion rate, that comes to a staggering £2.5 million. But for some, that £2.5 million view comes cheaper, especially if you're a tour guide on the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
If we're all ready to go, what we'll do, I'll just put my...
In the last 5 years, Leon's taken thousands of tourists up the Harbour Bridge. But today is special. He's about to give his mum and brother the climb of their lives.
OK, mind your step. Hang on to the handrails.
It's an experience of a lifetime, navigating the 700 steps up to the summit.
Well done.
I mean, I knew it would probably be quite scary if you didn't have a good head for heights, but now I'm actually on it. It's a big structure. As a mother, you'd like to see more of your children. It makes me feel slightly sad for myself, but that's just the price you pay for the fact that this country, beautiful though it is so many thousands of miles from the UK. Fabulous view.
Yeah, welcome to the top. And give us a hug, Mum. So I knew you'd make it. Well done.
Oh, I didn't have any choice.
And one! Hot tubbing under the Harbour Bridge.
Would put your arm really high though, Leon, so you get the Opera House. Okay, ready, 1, 2, and woo! That's good. Okay, good.
Yeah?
I feel sad and a bit guilty sometimes. Not enough to make me go home, though.
In a city that averages 340 days of sunshine a year, at the weekend Lisa likes to relax Aussie style with friends. Some of them are even fellow Liverpudlians.
I've got my little boat parked over there and I'm going to put it in the water in a minute. This is what I love about it. You can't do this down the River Mersey, can you? You know what I mean? Imagine getting your boat out. I think I'll go. You bump into a shopping trolley or something, or a robbed car.
Many Poms have unrealistic expectations of a life down under. but Lisa's kept her feet firmly on the ground.
We don't have a waterfront house, we don't have a pool. A lot of people from the UK have this idea that, you know, go to Australia, buy a house overlooking the beach, get a pool. We don't have that. Our house is, I think, quite modest, but I appreciate what I've got here. It's more than I had in England. I don't feel that I need anything else when I've got this on my doorstep.
Next time,
chest against the glass,
we join Adam on the police front line in the Sydney suburbs.
Thank you.
As soon as he heard no points, he was a happy chappy.
We'll meet Sarah, who's on a mission to rescue koalas.
Just down here there's a sign and it tells you how many kangaroos and koalas have been killed this year.
And it's the end of an era for Jessie and Sarah as they swap their surfboards for a baby buggy.
I just want to catch him, cuddle him all the time.
I know you do.
Find out what world heavyweight boxing champion Frank Bruno had to say on his experiences inside and outside of the ring. Piers Morgan's Life Stories is at 9. We're back to Coronation Street next.